All right.
Right on.
You want to start? Let's start.
Yeah, start it.
Let's do it.
See if Jason.
Everybody, welcome to another terrible podcast by comics. I'm one of your hosts, Eerie Diamond, and this is my co-host, Mean Dave. Say hi, Mean Dave.
Hi, Mean Dave.
There you go. And we're excited to be back this Sunday.
That's right. We took a week off. That's right, for Thanksgiving.
We have our guest. We have Grimes Grim, and we have Matt Gubser. And hi, guys. Hi, guys.
Thanks.
Dave, you want to take over?
Yeah, of course. No, it's great to see everybody. We're doing, Grimes. You may wonder, Grimes is Dario Gonzalez's iPhone. That's Grimes right there. If you're wondering why he looks familiar, it's because he is the husband of Eerie Diamond.
Sure.
Also, pretty much has been, prior to the Zoom, but even with the Zoom, he's very much a co-producer of our show here, as well as a huge supporter and all that. And it's his birthday this weekend. Can you believe that? It's his freaking birthday, and I wanted to invite him to be a guest because he's a very, very cool, very talented dude. And we want to sing happy birthday. Let's get started off here. I know I got a photo. What was this?
Actually, Dave, you actually likes him a little bit more than me, sadly.
What's that?
You like him more than me. Oh my God. You can just put that fucking photo
there
up.
we go. All right.
Here.
Everybody, we're going to sing happy
Show
birthday.
everybody.
1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you.
Wait. Me.
I get the idea.
Birthday
No. They say
Happy
Happy birthday, dear Grimes.
you're grimy.
Happy birthday to
Wish
you.
you a happy birthday.
That was lovely.
All right. So we got that out of the way.
Thank you, guys. That was
So, yeah,
very,
and in
very
addition-
cool of you. And
in addition
several
to-
dogs in the neighborhood have come over.
In addition to Grimes, we have comedian one of the biggest supporters of Zoom comedy shows in the Bay Area, loves Zoom comedy, can't get enough of it. Matt Gubser, comedian Matt Gubser, joining us over there in his mask, setting example for everybody.
Any excuse to be back on Zoom.
Hell yeah,
No
man.
excuse at all.
Love. It's great
We
attitude, man.
did the longest show ever, the longest Zoom show that's ever happened. It was like 2.5 hours last night, Matt.
What was
Every
that?
Zoom show was the longest Zoom show.
What Zoom show was that last night?
It was Franco's show.
Franco. Who's that?
Frank, you don't know Franco?
What's his last name? Trevini?
Yeah, Trevini.
Oh, that guy. Oh,
Yep.
shit. Yeah, he doesn't know what he's
Actually
doing.
a really good
That's
lineup
great.
though. So,
Yeah.
but anyways, enough of that. Let's go ahead and introduce our next segment.
We
Dave,
got our segment Listen Up. So yeah, that's just to kind of give everybody an idea of who the fuck you are in case they don't know. So let's start with the birthday boy, Grimes. Who the hell are you, man? 200 words or less.
Well, you said it, sir. I'm a co-producer of this show and a big fan of comedy, even though I'm a bit adjacent to comedy. I'm also a cinematographer, producer of a movie right now, an independent flick that'll be coming out hopefully next year, and then all around interesting cat. I don't know what to say.
Damn right. You're doing a great job, Grimes. We're coaching him.
Thank you.
it's
You're
true.
killing it
Well,
over here.
I want to add something because I know him and I'm his wife too. So
Yes, the wife needs to speak up.
I know, right? He also the funny thing was when he came into when I got into comedy, he started coming with me to see shows. He loves comedy, and then he started filming comedians, and he actually turned it into a small business. He would go to shows I wasn't even in and film them for people and make money. And I was just like, this is weird, dude. I'm not even booked at Cobb's tonight, and you're going to Cobb's. This is so fucking weird. But anyways, yeah.
No, it's good. I mean, believe me, comics need all their fucking footage for.
Right.
Speaking of one of the kings of footage and one of the kings of giving tips on acquiring that footage and what you don't want to waste your time with, Matt Gubser. Who the hell are you, man?
One of my favorite comedians.
Who the hell are you? 200 words or less. Give us your life story.
been in San Francisco. No,
You
those.
have to count it. It's a loose guideline.
I know all these guys from comedy. I've been doing comedy in San Francisco for probably about as long as Dave. For what's it been, like 10 or 12 years now?
You've been doing it a little longer, but yeah.
Oh, okay, thanks. Dave and I have both been in San Francisco way too long, is what we're saying. Past our expiration dates.
No, speak for yourself, man. You're doing. I love it.
Oh, you're just
I love
gonna
it at the
take everyone
bottom.
else down with you, huh?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's I mean, when comedy was real, I did that a lot. My day job is I'm a sculptor. I basically sculpt nerd toys. It's nothing practical at all. It's completely ridiculous.
It's just like comedy.
Yeah, basically.
For fans, some of you might remember Matt from the show and tell episode when he was showing off his figures and
That's right.
was showing some incredibly detailed work and basically acting like it wasn't shit. Showing zero gratitude for also winning a competition with the thing. So Matt has troubles with.
Matt has trouble, and I would like to jump in too. He has like a couple of comedy albums.
Daddy issues.
I don't know why he doesn't think he's cool, and I think it's because his 3 or 4 I don't know how many kids you have. 4.
I have 3 teenage daughters.
3 teenage daughters probably make him feel like
my oldest
the
turned
most uncool person on earth. That's probably what
your oldest turned how old?
My oldest just turned 20.
Whoa, shit.
In April.
Damn.
Yeah.
Now that makes you feel old. Now you're old. So anyway. All right. Well, moving on from there. Thanks for your introductions. Our next segment, classic segment, is how are you holding up in this pandemic? As you know, we're it's one of those one of the things. Everybody, we do a weekly check-in for our guests and all that. So I guess Matt, let's just go ahead and keep it rolling with you. How are you holding up thus far?
I'm doing okay. I mean, honestly, besides not doing shows and going to the gym, things are pretty much the same. I'm a pretty big introvert and I work at home for myself. So that's, the main thing is that I haven't really been focused on comedy because I have a really hard time like splitting my attention. Like I have to be focused 100% on one thing, and it's been doing like one Zoom show a week or something like that. Like there hasn't really been much. I haven't really felt like writing or even really thinking about comedy much. Like when the first shelter in place, I was totally focused. I spent like a month editing my last album, and I was watching like documentaries on stand-up. And what's that Pete Holmes show, the HBO one? I forgot what that's called.
Oh, Crashing.
Yeah, I finally I watched that. Like I was immersing myself in stand-up, trying to keep focused because I didn't, I thought it might be over in a couple months and we'd open back up in the summer again, but
nope.
I ran out of steam there.
Well, I have a question for you. It's a fun game to play. How many people have you met that were in the show Crashing?
Like half a dozen probably.
Really? That many?
I don't remember exactly who was in it. I opened for Amy Schumer one time, and I think she was in the last episode. Solomon Giorgio, I remember, was in it. I brought him up to headline like a week of shows when I was producing more shows.
At your San Francisco show. That's right.
Yeah, Solomon's great. He's very funny. I think there were a few more people, but I don't remember who specifically. That was March. That was like 1,000 years ago.
Yeah, I'm just saying. It's a fun game. I forget how many people that I've met. It's funny because watching that show really dispels the notion that when you're on TV, you're famous. There's one of the guys, what's his name, Jeremiah Watkins. He's one of the dudes from the last episode when they do the roast battle. And I remember that dude because he was making a big stink about us all having to pitch in $5 for tipping food I didn't even fucking eat. And so I pitched in $4, and he was trying to be an asshole about it. So fuck Jeremiah Watkins.
Tried to big time you over $1.
Oh my god!
No, it's one of those things where it's like they ordered all this food from Josh Adam Myers from the goddamn Comedy Jam. Yeah, I've got 4 on it. That's right, Nate. And I'm not giving. I mean, I might have ate like a couple wings that the guys were offering and all that, but I didn't order any fucking food. He ordered fettuccine Alfredo. I'm like, you guys do the tips, but it was fine. We got to go to the show for free and all that shit. So
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Grimes, how are you holding up this far in the pandemic? You know, you've worked on this show all year in various facets. You've also helped Eerie with the match game, and you've never once, no one ever has asked you, how are you doing, Grimes?
Oh, don't forget, he also lives here with me. So
That's
he's
right.
also locked in this house with me. So yeah, how are you doing, by the way, dear? How are you doing?
That good, huh?
No, he froze. I think he froze so he wouldn't. Go ahead. How are you doing? Hello?
You're in the same fucking house.
I know, he's downstairs.
I'm doing okay.
You're frozen, dear.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but you're like a ventriloquist. You're not actually, you're
I'm gonna just say go join Eerie in her fucking room, all right?
I know, I don't know why you didn't want to sit with me. Probably because I'm arm's length.
Because I'll be in your kill zone.
That's exactly right. Go ahead, tell us how you're doing. How are you doing, baby?
Well, if you can hear me,
Nope, can't hear
frozen?
Well, I think it's a good metaphor for how things are going.
Right?
Yeah.
How are you doing, Dave? How's everything going?
You know what? As usual, I mean, the next topic is I'm gonna leave this. I mean, let's check in with you. Are you doing all right, Eerie? You seem like
I'm fine.
Doing good. I'm doing good. But how I'm doing is directly linked to the next topic, which is basically we're about to enter, as I'm now referring to it as, where's my wonderful background that I just acquired for this fucking shit? Lockdown 2 Electric Boogaloo. And so we're about to go down, obviously we got some live shows that are going to be canceled, obviously, just whatever. It's going until January 4th. So it's basically through the Christmas season. If anything, this is forcing me to have to focus on my Christmas shopping, which I need to do, all for merely all 4 of my parents. That's the only Christmas shopping I got to do. And still I've got some plans how to get it done. So that's the only anxiety I forget. No, I'm not forgetting Christmas, guys. All right. Are you fucking kidding me? Bullshit. Now Christmas is still happening with my folks. All my sisters, no, gone. All right. No, the sisters I already said we're in our 40s now. Your gifts are shit. I give you more thoughtful gifts than you give me. We don't need to get gifts for each other. That's stuff that's been ruled out. I'm tired of, because I put thought into gifts, but when I started realizing, I'm like, I haven't gotten a thoughtful gift from any of my sisters in probably like a good 3 years. Not to knock shit on their, it's like, the attempt is nice, but I'm like, save your money and I'll save mine. And that's just works because I love them dearly. Do not need another beard treatment fucking thing for my stepsister and family. After I get all the nephews and niece their fucking gifts too and all that. And I'm like, nah, and their kids got plenty of gifts. Luckily, I'm blessed. Coolest thing I'm giving guitar lessons to my nephew, Dylan. He's like my biological nephew. He's taken an interest in the guitar. He just hit me up. We're setting up a lesson on Wednesday. So it's really cool. But yeah, other than that, just getting Christmas done, and then I got some friends I'm getting Christmas gifts for because my friends have really come through this year. I've got a lot of really great friends, and I don't forget them, and it's been a really good year to realize. Not speaking of which, also this Thursday on the Show and Tell will be the Friends edition, Dave's Friends edition of the Show and Tell, with my buddy Nate here, who's enjoying the show. He will be one of the guests, as well as my good friend Daryl Dak. We refer to him here for his job purposes, and Jason, who's surprisingly not here, but yeah, and I hit him up. I don't know. Jason must be having a nice night out or something. So other than that, So yeah, what's everybody's thoughts on the lockdown 2 Electric Boogaloo?
Guys, do you want to ask him? You want to tell your thoughts since you didn't get to answer how you were doing?
Oh, what are we gonna do? We're spiking. So like, as someone who works in a field that's considered essential worker, like I have to go in, so it's a drag, but it's like, the numbers are proving that, we need to do something. So it's kind of a bummer. I just wish this thing would be over already.
Well, you got the vaccine coming, supposedly. We'll see.
Turn everybody into zombies, though. That's
at this point, I'll take a vaccine and let it fuck me up,
right?
even if it's bad.
That's the next thing. That's the only thing. Yeah. So, how do you feel about the lockdown? You've been in lockdown. I've been in lockdown.
Yeah, it's nonstop. It hasn't stopped since we first started in April, March.
So more of the same.
More of the same. Yeah.
We're the same. Matt, how are you feeling? I feel like you might be a little bit paranoid because you still got a mask on, even though you're in your bubble.
Not paranoia. Don't mask shame.
I wasn't mask shaming. I was asking.
I just thought it was funny.
The bottom of his face is good looking too, by the way. It's not just the top. So pull it the other way for fun, just to see, so we can see the bottom, and then we can put the mental picture together in our heads. And then, no. There you, he'll keep unveiling a little bit.
Oh shit, look at this. This is like a strip show. This is a different.
Yeah, this is sexy.
2020 strip
Take
show.
that glove off one finger at a time, Betty. Hell yeah. How do you feel about the lockdown, Matt? I mean, you already kind of told us you're kind of an introvert anyway. So.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks, but I mean, it's been such a disaster just this entire year.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's still, we don't really have good government response at this point. I mean, Gavin Newsom is giving money to businesses, but what about their employees? I mean, the whole thing has been backwards. Money should not have been given to businesses. It should have been given to people. I mean, if people have money, they'll spend it. If people are worried about where their next paycheck is coming from, they're not going to spend it. And people spending money keeps businesses going. I mean, that's the problem when you have a bunch of rich guys who inherited businesses who think that they rule the world. And it's the kind of countries that are doing better than us, a lot of them, I mean, Canada's doing way better than us, and they've been giving their citizens $2,000 a month to stay home for.
Well, then maybe we should have just been, worked harder to be Canadian. I don't know. I think it's in America. I'm for the shit show of America because it makes India feel better. All right. That's it's one of the things I learned. I did a show yesterday morning. It's earliest comedy show I've ever done. It was at 8:30 in the morning, a.m. It was a disability comedy show that was primarily in India. And oh my goodness, were they like one of the best Zoom audiences ever? And it was
really?
I was up at 7:45 or earlier than that, but just getting up and logging on, and yeah, we had a great show. Went back to sleep right after it. But yeah, just learning about how we're actually pretty much on par with India for how we've been handling the. So that's good. We're making countries that have had problems feel better about themselves. I think that's a good thing.
Good. And you also have one of the worst movies ever made behind you, which also
bullshit. Bite your tongue, woman. This is Electric Boogaloo. Don't you dare talk down about Breaking 2.
Sorry, I didn't mean to trigger you. I'm sorry.
Was that 1 or 2?
Mad triggered. 2 Electric Boogaloo.
I'm so sorry.
Right on.
I did not mean to trigger you.
Yeah, do not, man. I had a mad crush on her. Ice-T was in this one. They saved the rec center. It's there's a lot of good in this.
Oh my God, I did not know how that was going to end. I was so
did not suck balls, Mom and Mark.
But no, they ended up pulling it out, which is awesome.
Does not. I've watched it 50 times or more, and I know it's a great movie.
It's better every time.
Well,
it's like Star Wars.
Okay, about defeating gentrification.
So going back to the first segment, a little something about me is I love breakdancing.
Oh yeah, we watch a lot of breakdancing movies in our house.
Love breakdancing. Yeah. I think it's so dope.
Yeah, we watch a lot of breakdancing movies in our house, and it's great too because now that you know, and it's great because you can like kind of go back, you can rewind and watch the whole breakdancing scene again, and then when it gets to the story part, you can just leave and go get something to eat in the kitchen, and then come back and then breakdancing scene again. It's awesome. It's kind of like watching a porno when you're watching a breakdancing scene. It's like the actual story is so fucking stupid, but the good stuff is good. You know what I mean? The actual action is like really good. That's how most kung fu movies are too.
Yep,
So,
and I think they use the same plot line.
I think so too.
You know, like
Yeah.
they're gonna lose the porno rec center.
right.
Yeah.
Like it's like oh my god, how are we gonna pay for the pizza? We
Right.
could dance it out like that.
I'm not going to bring that up, Kim. I mean, one of the things that's been an issue every year, it always keeps being brought up, whether
Oh
diet.
my god, why did you trigger him again, Kim? He
It's
just
an
got
action
triggered.
movie. It's an action movie. Takes place during Christmas, but I have no problem. You can call it a holiday movie. That's fine because it takes place there, but it's not a Christmas movie. Christmas movies have Christmas spirit, and you know it's.
All right, it sounds like we need to spend this lockdown writing Breaking 3.
I think you know what's funny. If everybody thinks it's a shitty movie, 2020 deserves it. This is the best year to write Breaking 3.
That's,
You know,
that's absolutely true.
And
And
we
we should get all the original cast members, even though like they'll maybe break a hip or something. That'd be
Right.
fun,
Right.
or that'd be super
Breaking 3, Toxic Holocaust.
Oh, I was
fun. But
thinking
it could be, they're trying to save the convalescent home.
right. I was thinking Breaking
Yeah.
3 assisted living.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're trying to save the assistant living home.
No, they're trying to get everybody cancer treatments from living next to a nuclear power plant after that moved in.
Their oxygen on and stuff. That'd be cool. Wouldn't that be cool?
Breaking 3, ow my hip.
Yes.
That's what Deneen just said. Nice one. Deneen's on par. Look at that. Parallel thinking. Or Matt just stole Deneen's joke, which is totally possible.
Funky retiree. I love it. I love it. Let's write this together, guys. We got to write this together. Let's do this.
Written by another terrible podcast by comics. It is Breaking 3. Yes, Funky
Our
Retiree.
name, we live up to it, baby. We live up to
Wait,
it.
was it Lucinda Dickey that you liked? Was that who was in that?
Fucking A, you know her name. That's right. It was Lucinda Dickey. That's
Isn't
her
there
name.
a
Oh, wait,
cute girl
she's been
on
in
this
these
earth?
movies.
She knows
She's
her
in a couple
fucking
others.
name. The chick
Yeah.
from the fucking Verizon commercial.
God.
Want to know why? She was
Verizon
thick.
commercial. She looked her up and found out all about her.
She was thick
all
before
about
thick was a thing. She was a white girl with some hips and some nice booty. You know, and then I don't know, just all around. Let's not get too into it. I don't need to go down memory lane too much. The next topic specific is an unknown to me. Eerie wanted me to save a few spaces for topics related to her husband.
Yeah.
So Eerie,
Well,
what's the
don't
topic?
laugh. Don't laugh, Dave's mom. I'm not gonna embarrass him. She was like, "Oh shit." She actually did this like, "Oh shit" look. No, and move your head so everyone can actually see the photo. Yes, that is an actual photo. We were 25 years old
Look at these.
back in the day. Hells yeah. Look how happy he looked. Oh.
I don't look that happy, you know. You know?
What was I gonna say? Yes, so I wanted to ask you. This is weird because you're sitting
Well,
next to me.
yeah, so we should look at each
Okay,
other.
we'll look at each.
There
We'll
you
look
go.
here.
Yeah, this will be like 60 minutes.
Oh, that's perfect. I love that.
Yep.
So I wanted to ask you. Grimes actually went to film school here in the Bay Area. He went to San Francisco Film School, and back in the 90s.
Mhm.
And I don't know if any of you have ever gone to school for something that you were no longer going to do or that didn't teach you anything.
Oh, like high school, yeah.
But yeah,
School.
there you go, Dave.
Yay.
But I would like to ask you just a short little kind of description of what it was like for you to go to film school in the 90s. Because I think it's very interesting. I don't know if you guys think that might be interesting, but there you
Sure.
go. And go.
Film school in the 90s was really interesting because it was between everything going to video and videotape and film school still being taught on Super 8 and film, so like 16 and 8mm. And but it was such the it was such like the feeder for making film school teachers and film school shop operators, because there was no real future, you know. It was so stupid. In order to get into the upperclassmanship, so you could actually make a movie, you had to be able to make a movie on their equipment. You couldn't use your own. And you couldn't check out their equipment unless you were close to being an upperclassman. So it was set up to, like, you know, like I said, it was set up to make film school teachers, you know, and the old adage of, you know, those who can do and those who can't teach, and those who can't teach gym, you know, it was like, that was film school. The best thing they offered me, and they were like so beside themselves and so like, they were so proud of themselves that they were like, we can get you an internship with Colossal Films. Okay, everybody, what did Colossal Films do in the 90s?
Break Into.
That would have been cool because that would have brought it back around.
That would have actually been something. They did the beginning for Eon Flux, the cartoon.
Oh, wow.
That was their internship,
Is that
and
it?
it was like 30 seconds. And so their internship was, you know, and of course an internship means you ain't getting paid. So for me, I was like, well, okay, so you can't get me a job. The best I can do is maybe get a degree and teach here. But I still got to go work my crappy job at Eddie Bauer so I can pay for this shit. So I dropped out, you know, and yeah, film school was just like, yeah, it was cool because I had to go through it and learn, but it was just kind of disheartening, and it made me not want to do film for a little bit. And I met a good crew of folk that also went to film school, and we had the joke for a long time to say, get a degree in film, get a job in retail. You know, it was like your fast track to go to retail. So does that answer the question?
Yeah, that answers the question.
I'm glad you work in film, because I almost considered, if I stayed in college, I had a rough year at UC Santa Cruz, got a lot out of it, and didn't wind up in debt, and dropped out, and then proceeded to kind of fiddle around in junior colleges and stuff. And I always wondered, if I would have, because I found I loved film later, maybe I should have gone to film school there and all that. And then I was working in 1998 at Sega, testing video games next to a UC Santa Cruz graduate who got a degree in film,
Great.
who was making $1 less an hour than me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, you've met my friend Jim Sweeney, Kingfish, who is now a burlesque show producer. He's
impresario.
He's actually very accomplished in his own right and has no other day job. That's just all he does, which is amazing. He's and he has a fucking hard degree in film.
Yeah. He was
I asked the guy, I said, was it worth getting the degree? And he said, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Yeah. And check it out too. Like, I actually came up here because the first school I wanted to go to was Long Beach State. And they had a film program, and they lost their accreditation right in the middle of me trying to get my first year of film school done. So, you know, they lost their accreditation. I quit that school, and then I started looking for other schools, and, you know, San Francisco State was pretty famous for their film school. But again, I really, and this is super duper bitter, but I really feel that public education and some school, some college is just really set up to make consumers out of people, and not like.
Totally. Oh yeah, flat out. I'm an example of it. I was a great drug customer. If anything, though, the Tarantino said it best, and I think the best filmmakers that I've followed, both independent and mainstream or whatever, best film school is making fucking movies. That's it.
Yes.
Just go ahead and write and make a movie.
The best is going and doing it. Exactly, Matt. Matt, bring it up. Bring up the rear, baby.
What did you go to school for, Matt?
I've dropped out of multiple junior colleges.
Right on, man. My man. There we go.
I went to, so right out of high school, I went to Hartnell College, the community college in Salinas, a couple hours south of the Bay Area where I grew up. And was just bored out of my mind. So I ended up dropping out and then working at Home Depot for a few months, and then went back to school the next year because I, wasn't thrilled about making $6 an hour.
Right.
And did a year, and then got engaged and got my fiance pregnant. So I dropped out of school again. She was a little bit ahead of me. And then I ended up going back to school when I was like 25 for, I guess I'm older than that. My late 20s, I went back to school for about a year and a half, and I started doing comedy. And I basically dropped out of school again to focus on comedy when I was like 30.
Nice.
So I've messed around at a couple junior colleges and have nothing to show for it. But I also don't have tens of thousands of dollars in debt. So there's that.
That's the best. That's the main.
At least we don't have any student debt.
Yep.
That's the one thing I got to say. Because I'd be bitter as fuck, if I hadn't even finished my degree and I had student debt, I'd be really mad. So
My main thing when I was going to college was the fact that I felt like I got a better education at my high school than I was that first year. I had a couple friends die. I wasn't in a good place. I didn't know how to talk to people and tell them my problems and all that kind of shit. Plus I was also working on the beginning of a lifelong drug problem. And then in the end, my main thing that I said, well, I'll drop out. My sister really wants to go to college. And I know that just having two kids even with all four of our parents, somebody's going to have to take out loans and all that stuff. I don't want to have to do it. Danielle will, my sister would I know was really more driven in the college game, and she did it, and very proud of her and all that stuff. So, and I didn't realize when you go to college, especially when you go to live on campus, you just moved into high school. Like you moved into high school. I'm like, what was I fucking thinking?
no, it's high school.
It was the thing. If I had any sense, I would have thought about it more and been like, look, why don't I go to a JC, see if I'm still serious about going to school afterwards, because I had no real goal. But I think the thing was, you're just going with what you think you're supposed to do because you got accepted to stuff. Or maybe if I should have gone to Berkeley and stayed living at home, annoyed my parents more while I was doing college work there. But who knows? Basically, in the end, I was like, I'm happy with my mistakes today. But if I had it to live over again, it's like either I'd go to a JC or maybe try Berkeley. Or I'd say JC. I would have gone to JC a couple of years and maybe learned that I hated school that way. So
yeah, I hate school too, and I've
hate it, but needed a break. I needed a break.
Started school so many times, and I finally realized, it's because I just don't like school. I don't like going there. I think maybe with the online schools I would have done it, but I just don't like going there.
That's the thing. A lot of online schools are free right now, man. You can go check out some classes for free and bump up your knowledge. But let's move to an uplifting topic here. All right, moving on. Hey everybody, we are in the last days of Trump. How you feel? How's it feel? Huh? We're in the final days, the final throes, the death knell. This guy, man, he just can't stop trying to spew more and more shade on this election. You got his lawyer now has COVID. Prayers for COVID and Giuliani. I'm not praying for Giuliani. I'm praying for the COVID in Giuliani and hope that it does its course.
What? I don't want anything bad to happen to him, but damn, because you don't wish stuff like that on people, but
I do.
Dear.
Yeah,
I'm just like, damn, dude, this is like the cherry on every fucked up thing he's done since he came back on the scene. This is insane.
No, this is not the cherry. This is the herpes sore on his penis.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it looks like a cherry, but it's it's definitely a herpes.
Oh my God. But it's just like, but between, and he's freaking out, and then the running of the dye, and then he's doing a press conference at a fucking law
Giuliani,
and he's just like, he's lost his fucking mind.
Farted. Did you guys see the video?
Trump isn't even smart enough to stop his own maniac. That's the thing I don't understand.
Did you see the Giuliani fart? he farted in that little video of the drunk lady who was, they tried to bring as the witness to Georgia, and she's going on, and then he was, I forget, somebody thought he basically was farting, and he had the assistant right next to him, and she heard the fart. Like
I'm gonna do my impression of her, okay? I'm gonna do
man, it's beautiful. I highly recommend it. If you haven't seen it, look it up. It is well worth it. It's not like a huge fart. It's just a tiny, like you could tell that Giuliani was like clenched. He was clenching. He was getting, really excited. He's older. You lose control of your faculties a little. And he's sitting there. He's like, and then like just a slight little, like a little trumpet toot. And the girl right next to him just turns, like immediately heard it, and it's
slightly. She kind of went like this, like.
Oh, he farted 3 times, according to Kim. Well, I'm gonna have to look for those other 2.
Yeah, there was another one. There was another, and the second one, she kind of just went like this.
Yeah,
Maybe he was doing that 20 Orlando song.
He was. Oh man, he must have been holding them in. I mean, because that's you're in front of those people and you can't let it out, and they're going out in like the little exhaust valve farts. Like,
Matt, what are your thoughts on that, Matt? You've been kind of quiet.
What are your thoughts on Giuliani's farts?
Yeah, what are your thoughts on? No, I meant what are your thoughts on Trump's last days? I mean, if you want to be specific and really drill it down to
really Giuliani's ass. That's really what.
Your thoughts on his ass? I just wanted to include you, or you don't have to. We could make it broader. You could open it up.
You know what? I've stopped paying attention to him. It's he's basically still running campaigns.
He's still trying.
All he knows how to do is just campaign. He's doing campaign rallies a month after he lost the election. It's the same. I mean, on one hand, like he's awful, but like it could have been so much worse if he was just reasonably competent.
Yeah.
If he had any idea what he was doing, he would have beat Biden by 20 points.
No shit, yeah.
No, it's true, because the states that he won in, he won like hard. He won hard in those states. Like he won by a lot. But the states he lost in, he didn't even win. He didn't even lose by that much. It's like if he had just been a little bit more sane.
I just said, if he just had decorum and like the slightest bit of manners, the slightest bit of decorum, the slightest bit of compassion.
Yeah.
He could just fake it, but he won't. It's really funny because it's like you would have won over the silent majority, which is just basically like, I think he's freaking out. We try to shake things up, but I think he's losing his shit, and he's on Twitter too much.
I think it was when he started playing Macho Man, because I think at his rallies, because honestly, I think a lot of his base was like, that's a gay song. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you never know. You've got a good point. Well, he should have just been entering all of his things to Ric Flair. Ric Flair's entry. If you know Ric Flair, the wrestler, he enters to the 2001 theme song. I don't know what the name of that song is, but it's done.
That would have been timely because people keep finding the monoliths.
Either that or the Randy Macho Man Savage entrance of the graduation music, like any of those. Just good, or even Stone Cold, just the glass breaking and dun 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 dun, like just something that because primarily his bases like are wrestling like style. They love him the way they love a heel wrestler. So that's just
or even like some NASCAR theme or something.
But Dave, would you have reelected Trump if he dressed like the Macho Man?
No, I already said if he didn't end the world in 4 years, I didn't vote for him I don't even know if I voted in 2016. I did vote. My mom filled out my ballot, so I voted for Hillary. But no, the fact is I just said if he doesn't get it done in 4 years, end the world in 4 years, I'm not gonna vote for him for another 4. So, by the time, if you want to donate to the comedians tonight, you can do so. Venmo, Evelyn Eerie Diamond. I'll put the info in the chat. You guys all know the deal. You've been here. You're all our regular heads mostly.
Yeah, girl, I got you on speed dial.
Love you. I hope we're entertaining you guys. I hope so, because it's okay. Good. Oh, another topic. Okay. I can't think of anything. Grimes, do you want to talk a little bit about your
Your next, yeah, is your next Grimes topic?
Yeah, do you want to talk a little bit about maybe what you're doing now, or
These are well thought out questions, Eerie.
well, I had a couple of different ones and I can't figure out which one I should do.
Well,
What do you want to talk about?
Whatever.
Sounds like a bad date now.
Yes.
Does it? Does it?
What kind of music do you listen to?
Oh my God. What's your favorite? If you were a sandwich, what would your favorite? What? No.
How has your birthday weekend been?
There you go. Dave.
Grimes?
Good. I'm not one of those, like, I'm not way into birthdays, so I'm pretty low key about it. I think, and I know this sounds like I'm pandering, but I call my mom on my birthday because, like, she's the one who started this all. It's all her fault.
Went through the pain. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I think that the day is more like her day than mine, honestly.
Oh, the day.
Very
But
good point.
she already had 6 kids by the time she had him, so that's a lot of vagina work, if you know what I'm saying. Like that,
Yeah.
Oh my
a
God.
lot of fucking.
Revolving door at that point. Yeah. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
that's a lot, and the fact that she was willing to go for it one more time is kind of insane. if you
Yes.
ask
Well, after 6, it's basically a slip and slide.
Yeah, man.
Right? Oh yeah. But without you got to actually use the hose to get it lubed up because it's just been so long.
Oh my God.
Slip and slide bungee jump, right?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Oh yes, absolutely. Oh, Dave, that is a very good
I'm
point.
ripping that off from Norm Macdonald. That was a Norm Macdonald joke about
Okay.
Stamos, I think.
A lot of future incontinence. Oh, I didn't need to know about that about my mother-in-law, but that's probably. That's
Tell
a,
him, Denise.
we all pee a little when we sneeze, right? Isn't that true? It's just kind of okay. I don't know what just happened. Would you?
Next subject. Yeah. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Next subject.
Go
Yeah.
All right. Well, next subject I think would be pretty
Matt,
good.
what would you like to talk about, Matt?
How
Anything?
how many kids are there in your family?
I'm the oldest of 5.
Oh, okay. So a lot.
Yeah. So you're honorary Mexican. You are from Salinas, so even though you're white,
basically.
Oh, that
they
makes
still
perfect.
behave Mexican down there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Did you have any chickens growing up by any chance?
Chickens?
I'm just curious. Salinas just seems like it's such a like country kind of town to me.
No, it's no, not until
There's a prison, not chickens.
Oh,
prison chickens are completely
Yeah.
different.
Salinas is one of those places where you go to stop to get gas and you don't want to stay long.
oh, that's what I mean.
Yeah, I mean it's a decent sized city. It's probably 150,000 now, but there's not a lot going on. The most interesting things about Salinas are that it was close to Monterey and close to Santa Cruz, and that was about it.
And a prison. You have a prison there too. Right?
Yeah, my dad was a prison guard for a couple years in his early 20s. I guess
I'd
20s.
like to ask you a question, Matt. Just to get you trying to get you talking, man. For a comedian, you're so fucking quiet. It's so crazy. And you're
Yeah.
so introverted for a comedian. It's so crazy to me.
I save up my words.
I know, it's awesome, actually. You make them all count, which is important. So you have three daughters. That sounds like hell. And how far apart are they?
They're 20, 18, and 14.
Oh, that's
Wow.
terrible. I'm so sorry.
2 and 4.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
What's that like? What's that like being in a house with 3 daughters?
Well, one of them, their mom and I split up, so a couple of them have lived with me later.
Mm-hmm.
Like my middle kid basically lives with us when she's not at school. But her college is actually in session, so she's been living on campus for the last few months. It's one of the few colleges that has students on campus.
What you're in? What college is it?
It's William Jessup. It's up in Rockland.
Rockland. What's it? There's another comedian, Phil Griffiths. His daughter went off to college in another state. She ended up getting COVID and had to quarantine.
Did she?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice thing to say to Matt so that
He's
he
freaking out. No, hey, he's a
Oh, no.
father. I know it's a concern. I mean, look at him. He's wearing a mask. It's not unaware.
No, it definitely is a concern because she's playing basketball, so they get tested
but they're getting tested, like you said. But no, that's so
Yeah.
she's getting and same with Phil's daughter works. She's in sports, I think swimming.
Yeah.
So that's how she even found out. So I mean, it's actually a good thing. I mean, if they're being that they're in sports, they're getting tested. You know.
Yeah, they had to quarantine for a couple of days this week. They in their last game they played against the University of Nevada, Reno, and then one of the girls on the Reno team tested positive. So
Wow.
they all had to get tested, and they had to go through the film and see who was in contact with her, and they all had
You know what? You know what? All this stuff makes you remind, or just if, for any of you who were around in the '80s, doesn't it just make you appreciate AIDS a little bit more? I mean, just the way that they handled
Not
AIDS.
AIDS, but like fucking syphilis is nothing now. Like just
Well, I mean, AIDS is one of those. I mean, AIDS was one of those things. That was a pandemic right there.
or pink eye is like
People
nothing.
didn't even know. Well, people didn't know how it was going on too. It was just like it was killing mostly gay people and drug addicts, and they were like, "Well, it was, you know," and just showed the homophobia of the country, revealed that. But
what was that? What was that series on MTV? The sex series?
Yes. Real World. No, I remember that. Is that what you're talking about? Real World?
no,
it was like it was like a documentary series about sex, and was it called Sex in the 90s?
Oh,
might have been. I didn't watch
Something
MTV
like
that
that.
closely.
I don't remember. I do remember my high school health class, and basically they convinced all of us that we were going to get HIV if we didn't
Oh yeah,
use
no, it was the big scare tactic.
constantly.
Yeah, well, it worked. Too. So, you know,
that was a big deal. That was a death sentence. I mean, that's
Yeah, I was a freshman in '88 at Long Beach State, and they had a whole campaign, and they had that horrible song.
oh my God.
The chorus was, "We don't have to take our clothes off to have a good
have a good time. That's right. It's true.
And the record company came to our dorm and gave us a bunch of bumper stickers. And so there was a bunch of us little asshole punks from LA and Southern California. And while the record company was there, we ran and put all those bumper stickers and stuck them on their car before they left.
Oh, good times. Good times.
Good time.
So, moving on, we got one last topic before we wrap up here, and I think it's a good one. Based on our, you know, we've had a hell of a year this last year, and it's coming to a close. Can you fucking believe it? It's coming to a close. And so, what are our predictions for 2021? What are your predictions for the future?
Let's start with you, because you're. Yeah. What do you got?
I think it's gonna be more of this, a little this, a little that, and probably some more stuff. No, I really just I think more stuff. No, I think, you know, I don't know. As soon as this vaccine gets in here, hopefully some things chill the fuck out with the corona stuff. You know, as much, you know, I been powerless over it. Can't really do much. You know, for the most part, I'm going to be making a meantime though, since it's Christmas, and we're back in the lockdown. I'll be making well, my goal is, we'll see if I'll be making a new meantime episode on YouTube every week for the month of December. So I got one. I got to edit it, but it's I got a good interview this week, and then I'll be so that's my prediction for December, and that's my own personal prediction. And we'll see if I follow through with that shit. But as far as 2021, I think it'll be this until it kind of lightens up and everything will be okay. Oh, cool! Jason and Harry were on a date. That's why they aren't here tonight. So I'll just tell them the gang wishes them well.
Went on a date.
Yeah,
Dates are important. Matt, what are your predictions? 2021.
I'm sort of expecting things to be kind of back to normal by about April. I mean, who knows? Who knows what?
Or not?
Yeah. I've kind of like, I feel sort of surprised that I, was able to do live shows last month and up until yesterday. I was not expecting to do comedy probably until next March or April. So this was nice.
I was
but-
already doing it in May, man. They already had like a couple live shows, socially distanced.
No, there were homeless comics who were doing comedy at the parks.
Homeless, come on, don't pick on them that much. I mean, they had homes. You know, there's, you know, there were a couple. So, but yeah. Well, why don't you hit the Zoom mics there, Matt? I mean, you know, there's plenty of Zoom mics. One of which every Tuesday, Melanie Calabrese here.
Thank you, Melanie.
And also, Melanie just had their very first, and I heard it was successful. Her Wednesday women's show. You want to mention that?
Oh, it's so sweet. Yes, we have Funny Ladies Power Hour, and we have a great website that my partner, not lesbian partner, just work partner, put together. And Eerie's going to be on our December 23rd show, right?
So excited! Yeah, hell's yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It was so much fun. It's all women, or people who identify as women or non-binary. I have to get all that in. And it's a great time. And then I'll be interviewing Gail Jones on Wednesday, because I feel like she's helped empower women, and it's all about empowering women in comedy. So sorry, Dave, and anybody else who has a penis.
Not a problem. No, I mean,
you can be in the audience.
You know, I always reserve the right to turn into a woman, and Matt as well too. You know, the thing. We're
Melanie, thank you so much for doing that. By the way, I think it's rad. No offense, men, but you know, in the comedy world, there's a lot of dudes.
It's, you know what? It's needed, because I haven't seen that many, even from our local comedy scene that is very, you know, women and LGBTQ, you know, inclusive in their shows and all that stuff, or exclusive, I should say too. But no, and so I was like, you know, it's a great thing, because also you can connect with women all across the country with all these Zoom shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're booked until February. I booked everybody until February. And we have a list. We have a list, like 10 women after.
Sweet.
So I'm happy to have Eerie. I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to do the show. I'm so excited. I have to say that there's one cool thing about the Zoom shows. I mean, I did a Zoom show that was like based out of Scotland. Like I've done fucking crazy ass Zoom from all over the world, just like you were saying, Dave. And that's the one cool thing, is to the ability to be able to connect with so many different scenes and so many different places is really fucking cool. And I think that it's made all of our minds have to kind of like pop open and really try to accept more things and not be so singular in how we think of things. We have to be more creative. We have to be more, you know, we have to be better because we're on, you know, we're not in person, so we can't like boom out our personalities. We got to actually like figure out how to make it work when we're on Zoom.
And you guys were some of the first. You guys are like the
fucking right.
Fucking right.
Round one, and then now it's a thing. But I've always been a computer nerd. But you guys went right. You guys were like right on it. So kudos.
We needed it. We all needed it, and and people like Matt just have to fucking suck it up. And,
yeah, suck it, Matt.
Suck it up. Not so much. I mean, you can suck it too, but I'm just saying. There's no resistance.
Very hostile.
No, I'm just trying to get your attitude to change. It's all, you know. Fucking enough of this resistance. There's you know, you just gotta fucking do it, man.
Why not? That's how I feel.
But it's fun to watch you. It's fun to watch you be uncomfortable. So.
Yeah. Do you have any predictions for next year?
Oh yes. Okay, so first one is that my movie finally gets finished and released.
Yay!
And you can see it all. It's called The Monitor. That's the working title. We'll probably change it. The second one is that we finally get our flying cars. Everybody gets a flying car. Unfortunately, the only drivers that are available because they have no work are going to be people from the Trump administration. So your flying car driver is an asshole. Those are my, and then my last prediction is Matt Gubser slowly removes his mask.
Oh, that's a good one, but not till next year.
Yes, and to Barry White.
I think it's interesting. He's got a pen in his hand. I don't know what he's writing, but
I think that's Matt's new My OnlyFans page or something. He'll make tons.
The only
That's
thing for Matt
by
Gubser
the
is space.
That's the way all burlesque dancers are going to be for this year. It's going to be like slowly taking off the rubber gloves, smacking it around, blowing it up, and then slowly removing their mask. And then, yeah, it's very hot. I'm thinking zombies. That's all I got to say. That's it.
Zombies?
Zombies, dude. It's the only thing we haven't done yet. It's the only thing we haven't done. I mean, meteor, zombies. Those are the two things. I'm hoping it's going to get better. If it gets better, then it's just going to be like vaccine, awesome. Everybody does the right thing. Dead virus. All the anti-vaxxers shut the fuck up, and then everything just gets better. And we're all so happy to be out that business just fucking booms, art booms, everything is awesome. Or zombies and a meteor. So it's one of those. It's either going to be amazing or it's going to be zombies and a meteor.
Terrible.
That's my prediction.
That's a good narrow.
That sounds amazing either way. So it's fine.
Right? It sounds like interesting either way. At least it's interesting, and yeah. So that's
also in case, just so you know, if you need something to watch, my parents were correct. I finally checked it out last night. The Queen's Gambit, very funny.
Oh my God, it's amazing. It's
very
so
good show.
good.
Yeah, and especially what I was not prepared for was the drug addict alcoholic aspect of the show.
Okay, you saw it, Dave?
I watched it up to episode 6. I'm saving episode 7 for at the end of the day when I'm
I
done.
knew it. I've been telling you to watch it.
Yeah, I know. I've seen everybody. I usually wait until all the hype dies down and everybody leaves me alone and I got time.
You're such a contrarian.
No, it's not a contrarian.
It's
not.
just hard to get
Contrarian
into turn
would
off
watch
the
it. No, if I was contrarian, I'd be like, it's all right. It's not a big deal. But no, I love it. I thought it was great.
He's a punker. He has to be.
No, I just don't like hype. I gotta wait a while. I've had hype kill shows for me before. I know I gotta wait till everybody's orgasm over something is done, and I need to start fresh without any
Sit off,
so
and
I
then you do.
can have my own orgasm.
I just want you to know, Grimes has not seen Queen's Gambit. However, he really thinks the woman in it that plays the lead is hot. So what's her name?
Way too young. That's her name. What the fuck, man? No, she's
He knows everything about that actress, but has not seen because he loves her.
Because that's not true. Because she was in Witch, and Witch was an amazing.
Yeah, she's in a lot of cool stuff.
She's in Emma. She's in Emma Grimes. Emma. It may not be your thing, but it's a very sumptuous.
I was like, every time I see the title for that, I would just hear the word Emma. She's in Emma. Yeah, the movie Emma, based on the book Emma by the Joan, whatever the fucker. I don't know what's the name of the author. Who's it's not Joan Crawford. I know that. That's an actress, but who wrote those books?
Jane Austen.
Jane Austen.
I read those all back. Yeah, but you're right. The Witch too. I didn't know till after. She's Argentinian.
Yeah. Got
Well, I'm
the
out.
big fucking eyes.
Argentina.
If you go to Argentina, you guys, if you want to see beautiful people, go to Argentina. Because
wait until Corona's done though, because I think it's gone off the rails in South America right now. So
There are a lot of South American countries that are doing better than the U.S.
oh, yeah, well, still, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I want to hold off.
So sad. Okay. Well, you guys, I hope you guys had a lot of fun. It's 7:01, and I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Give a round of applause to Matt Gubser and the birthday boy Grimes Grimm for being part of the show. And once again, big thank you and a round of applause.
Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate you tuning in, and we had a great time. We hope you had a great time too. Thank you, Matt. Thank you so much. Thank you, Grimes.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Dave. As always, thank you so much. I'm Eerie Diamond. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
You guys are awesome. We'll see you next week.
Hi, everybody.
Wu-Tang.